Alrighty, we are starting to see some attendees popping in, so I want to welcome those. The few of you have already joined. We're going to wait probably a minute or two before we get started to give everyone a chance to file in, get settled, and then we will get right into things. So just hang on tight. All right, we will give it one more minute. Alrighty. All right, why don't we start welcoming everyone in? I want to say thank you for joining and welcome to the Information Technology and Cybersecurity webinar. We are so excited to have you here and talk to you a little bit more about the degree programs within these areas of study, give you a chance to hear from faculty and from real students who are in the programs now. Just an overview of how we are going to be running this webinar. We're going to hear a little bit about the IT area of study, about what those degrees will consist of. We'll be hearing from an IT student. We'll be moving on to cybersecurity, going over those degree programs, hearing from some students in that area of study as well. We'll also be hearing from a very accomplished faculty member that some of you may have in the future if you do decide to pursue your education here at NEIT. And then we will be moving into career services, where we'll talk about the amazing outlets we have for you in terms of, resume help, finding a career after you've finished here at NEIT, and then wrapping things up with an admissions presentation and an open Q&A. So a little bit more about the open Q&A. You can submit questions at any time through the Q&A feature that we have. It's going to be on your screen on the toggle bar below. It says Q&A and it looks like two little chat boxes. So at any point in the webinar, you can click on that, submit your question. We will get it on our end and we will wait until the end to answer any of your questions. So feel free to submit at any point and we will get to it. On the other hand, if you do have a question that is a little bit more personal and it speaks to your own personal certifications that you may have or things you've done that give you some questions about the application process or classes you might be able to test out of, I definitely encourage you to respond to our reminder email that will be directed to our admissions office, and they will be able to help you in a more personalized way than we will be able to do at this webinar today. But of course, any other questions you have about the program, about student life, definitely submit those questions. So after I've, said all of that, and I've been talking for a few minutes now, I am going to allow us to get right into things. And I'm going to pass it over to Timothy Henry, who is going to take it away and get into IT. Oop, Tim, you're muted.
There we go. Sorry about that. I had clicked the wrong button to unmute myself. So I'm Tim Henry, as Samantha said, and I am the IT Graduate Program Director and also the Director of New England Tech's Cyber Center. And I'm going to take a few minutes right now to tell you about some of our information technology programs. We have 3 degree programs in information technology. The first is the Associate's Degree Program in Software Engineering and Web Development. Whenever you enter into this program, you're getting prepared to be an entry-level web developer or programmer as part of a team that's going to develop some exciting products. We want you to be able to go in and be a productive member of the team whenever you get through our associate's level program. So during this 1.5 year long program or 18-month program, what you get exposed to are technologies or programming languages such as Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript that allow you to develop for front-end applications. Those are the applications that run in the web browser. So whenever you hear about a full stack developer, part of that is developing front-end applications. So you'll be prepared for that when you go out into the workplace. We also, in our associate's level program, cover a little bit of database introduction and also give you some of the back-end technologies along with the databases, such as programming in C#, programming in PHP. So you'll get experience in a number of different languages. And what's really important about this exposure to different languages is you don't just learn those particular languages, but you start to understand what makes up programming languages so that whenever the next new thing comes along, you're much more able to pick it up rapidly on your own after you've had exposure to a number of different programming languages. So once we get you through this, the front end development, the back end development, so you can do an entire web application, you also have the opportunity to do a co-op or an internship your last term along with a senior project. So there are some certifications you're prepared for as you go through the associate's degree program. None of the courses specifically will give you a certification when you're done. So following the associates, it's really great to roll right into our bachelor's degree program, which is another 18 months. So at the end of 3 years from starting the associates to finishing the bachelor's, you're ready to start your career in software engineering. And what our bachelor's covers is cloud development, understanding the cloud infrastructure such as AWS Cloud or Azure with Microsoft. You also get a lot of big data, data analytics, and machine learning, so you're prepared for some of the latest technologies that are out there. You also learn how to do mobile development. So you'll learn a little bit about Android programming. You'll learn about iOS programming in some of the courses. And then in addition to all of that, you get more advanced C# and back-end development, front-end development, and you learn Java as you go through this. So you learn even another additional language. So by the time you're done with the associate's degree, you're ready to step into almost any role that a software engineering company would have for you. And that's after 3 years. So in 3 years, because it's an accelerated program, you've learned as much hands-on experience. All our programs are hands-on. So you're actually in there programming. You're not sitting in the classroom for 3 or 4 hours a week listening to lectures. Yes, there are a few lectures, but the lectures are to prepare you for the actual assignments and practical labs and work that you're going to be doing throughout the program. So after 3 years in the accelerated program, you've picked up a bachelor's degree. And so you get out into the field, starting your career a whole year earlier than what most other college graduates have after they've gone through a 4-year program. Following the bachelor's, we also have a master's of information technology that's designed to make you a leader in the field of information technology. So you can step into a leadership role of a team or an organization, such as being the CIO, Chief Information Officer of an organization, or a department head who's responsible for the information technology of that department. Okay. And our Masters of Information Technology program has 2 tracks. One covers technologies that you may not have been exposed to so far in your career, such as data warehousing and advanced data analytics, software architecture and design, networking, and all this rounds out your technical skills. And it also has a track that looks at leadership and management to really get you out in the field as a leader. And so we have from the introductory with the associates to get you out at an entry-level position to be a productive member of a web development or software engineering team, to the bachelor's where you can step into a much more senior role in software engineering, to the Masters of Information Technology program that puts you out there as a leader in the information technology field. And so that's just a quick overview of what we have in information technology.
Great, awesome. So at this time, why don't I add Juliana as a spotlight to this? We'll keep the slide up just for ease of use on this and not switch you out on so many different screens. But I'm very excited to introduce Juliana. She is one of our student panelists, and she's going to tell you a little bit about her experience as an IT student.
Hi, you guys. As Samantha said, my name is Juliana, and I am super excited to be here and talking to all of you. So I started off as a student at CCRI, the Community College of Rhode Island, and I did 2 years there. And over those 2 years, I went through a lot of different majors that I considered, and none of them really fit the way that I thought that my mind worked. And I had always loved New England Tech. Since I was about 16 years old, I had loved New England Tech. I had known a lot of people who had been students there or had just graduated, and I had heard nothing but good things. So I started looking into their programs, and I found software engineering, which is what I am currently a student as. And I thought that it would really work with the way that my mind works. I'm really analytical. I love thinking about problems and solving them and seeing all of the work that I've done immediately displayed right there on the screen. And that's a lot of what software engineering is. You do your work and it works. It's right there. So I enrolled and I just finished up my associates, and everything that Timothy said about the associates program is true. You are fully prepared to be an entry-level worker once you're done with it, and it's an awesome feeling. So when I started the program, I was definitely a little bit intimidated. I considered myself to be a deer in the headlights for the first about 2 weeks, but I was never discouraged. You are completely surrounded by the most amazing and supportive students and professors who would do anything to see you succeed. The classes are built in a way where, like Timothy said, you're not just sitting down and listening to a lecture and not really proving to yourself that you can do it. It is so back and forth and hands-on. And for as much as you are listening, you're also learning and doing, which was huge for me because I love having hands-on work. I don't want to just sit and listen to a lecture, and I don't think that many people do. So I want to talk about one course, which was, I think, fairly new to the program, which was data analytics. And in that course, as Timothy said, you don't get actual certifications in your associates, but I came out with a lot of certifications of completion, which showed that I had this knowledge on a whole list of topics. And those look really good on resumes, which I appreciated. So to speak a little bit more on the classes and the professors, right now we are online. We're going to be going back on campus next week for a few classes. But even while we were online, these professors would do anything if it meant that you were going to succeed and that you were going to understand the material better. So you never have to worry about being in over your head. I have had professors at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, whether they are talking to us about just a joke that we made within the department, or if you waited too late to do an assignment and had this last minute question, they are there for you no matter what. But they don't baby you, which I really appreciated. They encourage you to learn. And sometimes I have a professor, Scott Lambert, where you'll ask him a question and he responds with another question, but it pushes you to learn and to do better. And I absolutely loved it. I have taken the PHP courses. I've taken ASP.NET. I took Intro to Python and Intermediate Python. I took an HTML class that I have used from the day that I took it moving forward in just about every other programming class that I've taken so far. And everything that I have learned, it hasn't just been this baseless information. Like when you take a class sometimes, I think we all remember taking a class in high school and saying, well, what are we going to use this for? Our professors never let us get to that point. Every single time you are in a class and they introduce a new piece of information to you, they will apply it to the real world. And not only will they tell you how you're going to use it, but they will show you, whether it be a project that they've done in the past or a project that they can see you doing in the future. They are absolutely wonderful, and the program is absolutely wonderful. I start my bachelor's next week, and I am very excited. Before I finish up, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the students, because I think I went into New England Tech not really knowing who I was going to meet, and I met my absolute best friends who are just as supportive and incredibly smart. and they are always just driven and wanting to do more. And I think that it's really important to surround yourself with people who have the same goals as you and who want to work the same way that you do. And that is all that I've ever found at New England Tech. I have a friend, Bryce, who's actually in the network engineering program, but he's also an incredible programmer. And I was in my second day of C# and completely confused. And Bryce stayed up with me until about 2 a.m. just to help me with something. And he didn't need to do that, but that's the environment that you're in here. Everybody is so willing and able to help you. Everybody wants to succeed. Everybody wants to see you succeed. And it is just amazing. And I am very proud of and happy with my decision to be a student here. And I think that you all would be too.
Thank you so, so much, Juliana. I am going to pass it over again to Tim as we move on to cybersecurity. So Tim, take it away.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah, as Juliana said, we are all here to really help you succeed. I mean, as a faculty person myself, I like to challenge the students to make sure that they're learning as much as they can. But I don't throw students into deep water without being there to support them if they start to sink. And I think that's generally the idea of how the faculty here at New England Tech is that we're going to challenge you with real world problems, real world scenarios, things you're going to encounter in the workplace, but we're not going to leave you out there to drown. We're going to be there to help you tread water and move forward in your career. So let me talk about the associate's degree here for the cybersecurity and network engineering program. Similar to the information technology series, you can get an associate's followed by the bachelor's and then the master's degree, and each of them prepare you for different levels in your career. Our associate's level is really interesting because it not only introduces you to some of the really important foundations of network engineering and cybersecurity, but we do it through using Internet of Things and Raspberry Pis and giving you a chance to actually do building, little mini computers and Internet of Things devices that you can put together on a network and see what the security issues are with those. Because whenever you look at what is out there in the world today, there are billions of Internet of Things devices out there that need to be made securely, and having network engineers and cybersecurity experts who know about that is crucial to having a secure environment, whether it's in a building, in a workplace, in a home, or in a marketplace, wherever it happens to be. And so at our associate's degree level, we really look to give you that strong foundation, again, so you can be a productive member of the team. And also with our associates, you're getting prepared for A+ certifications, which a lot of employers are looking for. So as you get through the associates and begin the bachelor's degree program, one of the most important things about our bachelor's degree program is that we are a NSA Center of Academic Excellence in Cybersecurity Defense Education. And what that means to you is not just that we have an excellent cybersecurity program at the bachelor's level. It also means that because you're going to be graduating from a program that has that NSA designation as a Center of Academic Excellence, there are a number of job opportunities that will be available to you because of that would not be available to you otherwise. Because there are a number of government and commercial jobs that require that you graduate from an NSA Center of Academic Excellence designated program, which we are now. So by getting that, that designation, we've opened up a huge number of job opportunities for our graduates. Also, it allows us to partner with more organizations, and we also are able to provide more cyber security competitions, cyber competitions for you to participate in and provide training for. And we are going to start to be developing that a little bit in our program over this next year. So the bachelor's program expands and builds on the undergraduate program and teaches you a lot more advanced skills. Where in the information technology program, you learn a little bit of Linux. In the cybersecurity program, in both the associates and the bachelor's, you'll be exposed to a lot of very in-depth and advanced Linux, because such a huge part of cybersecurity revolves around open source Linux-based tools. We're going to prepare you, again, for what you need to have a very successful career out there in the cybersecurity field. We're also going to teach you about securing and designing large networks and how do you secure those. And also along the way, we talk about web application security. So it's not just enough to build web applications. You have to understand, okay, how can we secure this particular application? And so once you've gotten your bachelor's degree, your last couple of terms, you can actually qualify for a co-op with an organization that replaces some of your courses. You can also do that with the information technology program. I didn't mention that there. But often that co-op can transition into a full-time position once you graduate. We also have a Master's of Cybersecurity Defense that follows our bachelor's if you want to take it right away or take a couple years and work before you come in for your master's degree. The master's degree is built around providing leadership skills for you and also very advanced ethical hacking and digital forensics, whereas our bachelor's degree program does provide you with some ethical hacking experience. Our master's degree program takes that into much greater depth, and then it also builds a much more technical digital forensics foundation and incident response. Like, what do you do whenever there has been a breach in your organization? How do you respond to that? So we cover that in much more detail in the master's program than we do in the bachelor's, but it is addressed in the bachelor's so that whenever you graduate, you're ready to go out there and be a very productive team member or team leader in your cybersecurity career. So I think that there's probably a million more things I could talk about with the cybersecurity program, but I'm going to leave it for there. And with that, just that brief overview for you, because we have a couple of students who are going to go into and give you more, I think, of what you're going to want to hear about the program.
Thanks, Tim. I actually am going to queue up our first student panelist for cybersecurity, Corey. So I'm just going to add you as a spotlight here. And Corey, take it away.
Awesome, thank you. So my name is Corey Morash. And when I started this degree, I definitely had a lot more hair in my head now that I'm noticing. But I just finished the master's program, unless Tim wants to surprise me and tell me otherwise. Just finished that last week. And originally from Rhode Island, I went out and moved to Tennessee, Nashville, to take a security opportunity out here. Growing up, I had my mother and father both in IT. My mother actually went to NEIT for programming, and my father had me setting up computers for his work as a 6-year-old. So running lines and setting up desktops for his branches. And later on down the road during high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had an idea by the end of it. My father was doing some consultant work or pen testing work for Rapid7. And my senior project was a pen test, and I scared my teachers. And they started asking me all sorts of questions. And I didn't realize at that point that this was going to be the direction I was going. And it was a little too late because I had already signed up to go into the Army to do IT. So kind of didn't hit the brakes soon enough before I realized what I wanted to do. But I ended up learning that I loved doing IT. I loved all the hands-on work. I did a lot of it when I was overseas in Afghanistan, and it was just one of those things that really stood out to me. So I knew I wasn't going to re-enlist. I knew about New England Tech because my mother, and I knew that they had a really good IT program, and I wanted to focus on security. And throughout the program, after I got out, throughout the program, I really liked the hands-on approach. throughout the courses. I wasn't at the time very much a theoretical kind of person. I learned a lot by doing hands-on, and throughout my time with New England Tech, I was also doing IT work with the Navy. I worked at a prison as IT. That was the most glamorous of jobs. I worked for the Navy, the Naval Undersea Warfare Center for a time. I ended up working at SecureWorks, which I think they're still based in Providence. And a lot of the people that I was with in my classes actually worked at SecureWorks too, and they work at Lifespan now. And they also graduated from the bachelor's program. And so one of the things that really captured me in the bachelor's program was the forensics portion. I was really drawn to the discovery, incident response, just the whole kind of finding different things, putting pieces together, and kind of making a story out of the evidence. And it actually really got me interested in malware analysis. So while I was working for one of my companies, I ended up teaching myself malware analysis. I set up my own VMs. And my my boss at the time, when I worked for GuidePoint Security, was like, "Oh, hey, let's provide that as a free service to our customers." So I got to do some extra work for free. But it just the program just really drew me into learning different aspects and just taking a more holistic view on how we do security while still being that technical resource. And as I started working for these security vendors, I was an analyst. I was an analyst with SecureWorks. I was an analyst with GuidePoint Security. I was the practice lead, or I ran a delivered service for GuidePoint Security as well. And I started realizing that people don't do security that well in some organizations. And I think by that time, I was at the end of my bachelor's degree, and I decided that I wanted to pivot my career from a security vendor to be more of a corporate side. And as I switch to my current job, it's more strategic. It's technical and strategic, but I'm making a lot more strategic decisions. And I figured, well, if I want to learn how to be more strategic, I might as well take advantage of going to some more classes. And that's when I had learned that there's a master's course at NEIT, and decided to go through that. And it really went ahead and kind of taught me the more, like Tim said, the leadership skills. You think more strategically. You do still have that hands-on aspect. You still get there, but it really helped me kind of understand at a higher level IT security in a business. And at some point in my life, I want to be a CISO, and for whatever reason, but I want to be a CISO because I want to better these security programs that aren't as mature. And this degree definitely kind of brings that into a better view.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Corey. And we are going to switch it on over to Seth, who is also in the cybersecurity program. So let's add Seth as a spotlight. And yeah, Seth.
Hi, thank you, Samantha. Yeah, so my name is Seth. I'm a bachelor's student here at New England Tech. I'm actually in the 10th out of 12th quarter, so I'm approaching my graduation soon this year for the bachelor's program. I'm currently an intern with the co-op program, which we do have in the bachelor's program. So you can actually start to get some field experience with that. But I'll take a step back here and kind of start from the beginning. The way I found out about New England Tech and sort of my background is I actually come from a family of programmers and sort of computer geeks. My dad worked for Acer Computers. My mom worked for Aetna as a programmer back in the 80s and 90s. I actually grew up in California. I was going to community college, working full-time at the time, and heard about this school, New England Tech, from my brother, who lived out in Connecticut. And doing the traditional structure, being a 4 or 5 year program to get through the bachelor's, and then also sort of finish off some certifications and fully graduate in the program that I was in. It was very appealing to me, the time consumption, being able to do what I was going to be able to do in 4 or 5 years and three was just an excellent factor for me trying to get, ambitiously into the field and really get my hands onto things, which is another good thing about New England Tech is that they provide all courses are very hands-on, as Tim spoke about. And yeah, so I made the switch up. I decided, I'm gonna do this. I moved out to Rhode Island a few years back here, 2017, and it's been a great ride since. I really kind of the way it stuck with me was when I came out to a tech night and I met some of the professors that were teaching in the degree program. I believe I had met at the time, it was Marty Truchon and a few other professors that were presenting that night. And I was just blown away by their passion for the IT field and their drive to keep things modern and field relevant. So there's a big effort, as Tim spoke about, with our NSA certification and sort of the way that the school approaches industry relevance. So proud to be a student. Definitely always when people ask me, how do you like doing the tech? So it's always an easy answer. I love what I do and I'm always excited to be here and represent the school. And I'll be sad someday when I have to depart from the school, but hopefully I'll be around for a bit longer and thinking about doing the master's as well as what Corey just finished here. I'd say that there's, taking a step into some of the topics that are gone through in the bachelor's to be a little bit more specific about field traits you're equipped with. One of my favorite things that I completed was the ethical hacking class. It's an excellent beginner level course that breaks you into everything from command line based navigation of different types of systems, be it Windows or Linux, sort of some of the security features, all the way into entry level white hat or gray hat activity, which would include Nmap or scanning, and then things like some exploits, decrypting different things or hash cracking. And then, it's a great foundation to get into things. I think it's a good point to get into kind of what I'm doing now, actually. So with the knowledge that I've built so far, and keep in mind, I'm still in the bachelor's program, I actually was able to get a job with a company here in Rhode Island based out of Johnston called FM Global. They're a local insurance company. They're a Fortune 500 company. I currently work with their cyber threat detection and response team. Our goal is to secure the global network and sort of perform analysis on different things there. And the classes that I completed were more than enough to get me started into it, be it, once again, being able to navigate the command line or perform basic analysis of some attacks. There's just great opportunity when it comes to not only the courses that you're exposed to, but some of the school's resources, including the Career Services Center. Shout out to Cheryl. And I'm always very thankful, and enthusiastic to talk to people about the school. I think my personal goal is to further develop my skills with some of the penetration testing aspects of things. My job currently is on the blue hat side of things, which for those that may not know, is sort of the defensive side of things. So I deal a lot with a environment that's called a SIM. It's like a monitoring center that takes all the network logs, puts them in one spot for you to kind of detect anomalies, to put it simply. And what a pen tester does is more on like the red hat side. So that would be the opposite of the blue. They're a little bit more proactive. They get in there and they do a lot of the scanning and attacking to find weaknesses and places to improve in the structure of the network. Cool thing is with the internship, we actually got to work with a red team. Ironically, it was actually SecureWorks, which is where Corey's at right now. So I think we kind of bumped heads about that. I was like, hey, do you know these guys? But yeah, it's really cool. So, in addition to the classes, you'll be opened up to some awesome opportunities. Definitely take advantage of the resources the school has, career services. And yeah, I'm excited to see where I end up. My current internship ends this summer, so I'll be looking for some new opportunities. But based off the knowledge that I've gleaned from the bachelor's program and my internship through the co-op course, I think I'm more than prepared and ready to get into this stuff. There's a course that you take in the quarter that I'm in right now that's called Advanced Information Security. And this kind of leads into what Tim was talking about with the bridge between the master's and the bachelor's. That course is actually a pre-certification. It sort of follows the structure that you would go through with your Security Plus certification. And so with that knowledge that you get in this course, they open you up to everything from firewalls to offensive operations, and it's a great segue. So you'll have different points to choose, how far you go with things, but all the tools are there, and there's absolutely, wonders of what you can do with the stuff that you learn in this program. So I'm very thankful to be here. I'm thankful for actually a lot of the people that are in this room right now have either been a professor to me or people that have mentored me. So yeah, and I think that's about it for me. I'll let the next person go here, but yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Seth. And we are going to pass it over to another one of our faculty members who has quite a bit of experience outside the classroom and in his own career. So I'm going to go ahead and add Mike as our next spotlight.
On the cleanup crew, I think, for the whole group here, but welcome everybody. And my name is Mike Tatro. I am an adjunct professor at New England Tech. I've been teaching here for about 2 years, a little over 2 years now. And I really do enjoy teaching. It's very rewarding to me. It's a nice continuation of what I do for a full-time job, and I'm able to help the graduate students. Really, as kind of Corey alluded to earlier, taking that technical foundation and bringing it to the next level where you can start to do business level engagement and be a senior leader and look at the strategic level of things, not just the technical, and how you incorporate all that together to mitigate risk for an organization and help them operate better and have minimal impacts from cyber threats that are out there and growing and morphing every day. I've been in IT for 30 years. I had to admit it's been a long time. I actually started out the first 12 years in the private sector. I worked for Travelers Insurance in Hartford, Connecticut, Citizens Bank here in Rhode Island, and then finished up private sector with American Power Conversion, Schneider Electric, where I started programming and then into development and then client server, and then ultimately finished up with Oracle database, Oracle ERP systems. And then had an opportunity to go full-time to work in the Rhode Island National Guard full-time as their CIO, running the Rhode Island enclave of the DoD network, Department of Defense network, which has been very rewarding. And then earlier this year, I actually finally transitioned out of that, and I just started my new final career, hopefully, with Department of Homeland Security in the organization called CISA, which is the Cybersecurity and Critical Infrastructure Agency, where I am the cybersecurity advisor for the state of Rhode Island. So I will advise both public and private entities from the state government all the way down on the threat environment and mitigation strategies and assessments and things like that. So it's really interesting to take that experience and bring it into the classroom and share it with the students at the graduate level, and also take some of their feedback and give them things to think about leveraging that experience. Another good piece of what I do is I actually am a colonel in the Army Reserve, and I'm my 31st year of that, and I actually command a cyber operations team, a defensive cyber operations team that trains in real world exercises like we had alluded to. We've done exercises down at the NSA. I have team members who do both blue team and red team attack, depending what the need is. But to Tim's point about it being an NSA accredited institution, that is a big deal. That is a very big deal. And as someone who's done exercises multiple times down at the NSA at Fort Meade, Maryland, it is a no joke environment, and it really means a lot to have that accreditation, because that's really where the rubber meets the road. I just spent a few minutes to say that I am a lifelong learner. Fortunately, the military has been very good to me to provide me a lot of opportunities. I actually have 3 master's degrees because I tend to be a sucker for education. So I started out with my undergraduate in IT, went and got my MBA in information technology, and then a master's in government information leadership, and then finally Army War College strategic studies master's. So I use all of those to help with kind of critical thinking, strategic thinking, and taking all those tools that you'll get at the associate and undergraduate level and bringing them up a level and thinking, how do we connect the dots? How do all of these things impact the organization? At the end of the day, is this organization going to be able to survive the environment that's out there, the threat environment, and continue to be profitable or successful if they're in a public sector organization. I love in education in cyber. I will tell you, it is as the students that are in the industry right now know, you never stop learning. You never stop trying new things. It evolves daily. The threat environment today will not be the threat environment a month from now. Things will evolve. New ways of bad guys getting around and doing things to make a profit, to influence the political landscape, to attack other nation state level. It really runs the whole gamut, and there's many, many ways to do that. The technology itself changes too. You know, the technology of 10 years ago is obsolete now. The technology we're working with today may not exist 10 years from now. So you constantly have to learn about the new ways things happen. 20 years ago, the internet technically didn't exist for public consumption. It was purely as academic and Department of Defense network. So everything changes with how it goes and how those things evolve. So you have to really stay educated and up to speed on a lot of that. And hopefully New England Tech will give you the tools to do that. We also like to look for opportunities to share and collaborate. And I definitely drive that in the master's program with my students. Many of them do come in from the private sector. They work in the field. And I really push them hard to share that information and collaborate with their teammates. I don't call them students. I call them team. I call them, your teammates. We're in this together to learn from each other as much as I can teach them what I know. And that's really where I want to go with the graduate level. I will tell you, when you get into the graduate level, again, as I said, it's not as much hands-on keyboard technical, at least in the courses I teach. I'm looking more at conceptual things, the people, the processes, the technologies, how they all integrate, what that means for a business, what it means to have leadership. Obviously, I'm a leader myself, and you need to get leadership engagement, leadership buy-in. So those are kind of concepts. And how do you do that? How do you do that and be successful? So it requires a pretty big breadth and depth of knowledge. But I try to really make sure we can connect the dots and have it all come together and provide some real world examples from myself or from the students in the class about why this is important, why it matters. And then finally trying to build some partnerships and work that outreach. So that's a real big part of the master's program. Again, it's, as the previous speakers have said, it's taking what you learn at the bachelor's level and taking it to that next level and getting yourself really geared up to go be that CISO, that CIO, that industry leader in cybersecurity and risk mitigation. And that's really a big part of the job I'm doing now, is I'm engaging all of these senior leaders and letting them know from the national level, here's what we're seeing, here's what's going on, here's what we see for threats, here's some strategies, here's some tools that we have to help you fight this fight and continue on doing what you should be doing and take some of that burden off. So thanks for having me speak. And again, I look forward to engaging with you, and my best to my fellow students who are on this call. I know Corey is one of my students recently, so it's great to see them on here also.
Thank you so much. All righty, so moving right along, I know I definitely want to respect everyone's time here. So I am going to switch the slide first of all, and then introduce our next speaker, Cheryl, and she is going to talk a little bit about career services here at NEIT.
Hi everybody, I'm Cheryl Gerlach and I work in the Career Services Office. We're excited about what we do. We offer a lot of services both to students and to our graduates. We help with job search resources. We really get our students connected to employers. We have a variety of events where we connect students with employers, and also, we have a lot of connections. We know if you tell us that you want to get into a particular area, work with a particular company, we might know people who are working there and help you to get connected to them. So we definitely want everyone to feel free at any time to connect with us so that we can help you with the job search. We look for employment opportunities. I would say we look for opportunities, but I'm going to tell you the employers come to us. I've been surprised that even during this pandemic, employers have been contacting us daily. Our phones are ringing, looking for New England Tech graduates. So that's encouraging, that's exciting. We have so many opportunities for the IT grads from the program. So they're seeking us out. You know, if they hire one New England Tech grad, they tend to come back and say, we'd like to hire some more New England Tech graduates. We help with things like preparing our grads with mock interviews, not just our grads, but also our students. If you were going to look for an internship or a co-op, you know, maybe some of you get nervous. Maybe you would get nervous before you're going to interview with somebody in a major company, and the job would mean a lot to you. So we will do mock interviews, we will practice and make sure that you're all set to go. We worked on LinkedIn profiles. That's like your Facebook, except it's for professionals. It's a way that professionals connect. The great thing with LinkedIn is we can help you really learn to harness that to the best of your capabilities, get connected to people at companies where you want to work, and also really look for graduates from New England Tech who are at companies and get connected to them. We help with your resume, which is important. That's a little snapshot of your skills, your experience, your background, what you've learned in college. We help with cover letters, which is something that really introduces your resume. Don't get hung up on that stuff. We're here to help, and we make sure that your documents look fantastic. We do something here. It says circulation. What that means is when you're about to graduate, that last term in school, we will take your resume. We'll make sure it looks fantastic, and then we start to send it out to employers for jobs that fit what you're looking for. Lots and lots of our graduates will find jobs from that service. But we get out to you. You know, none of this is guesswork. We're going to get into your classrooms. We're going to speak to you. We're going to let you know when you're going to be eligible, you know, like for the circulation. So we're going to be constantly reaching out and speaking with you. The door is open. Right now, the door is virtually open for everybody, but we're going to let you know how we can assist you. For our students, if you're looking for a part-time job while you're in school, we help with general student leads for jobs that come in that maybe is not in your field, but could look good on a resume and just get you some cash in your pocket. Technology postings, we have student level experience, different part-time jobs, internships, like Seth said, a co-op that could give you some amazing experience. Boy, that looks good on a resume. And a lot of our students will get hired from those opportunities. We're, like I said, daily contact with employers. We just kicked off a brand new program that was called the Career Boot Camp, where we worked with lots of students on how to interview for a job, how to negotiate their salary for a job, lots of different resources. So we're super hands-on. We all really love our jobs in our office. We're passionate about the work, and we want you to work with us. So if you'd like to contact me, you've got my email address there. You can ask questions about our services. And if you do come to New England Tech, I hope that you do. I want to hear from you right off the bat. I'd love to talk to you right off the bat. We can start working on a resume right away, and we can start talking about ways to really strategize for how you're going to be best able to proceed with your education and your resources that you need to be successful in your career. All right, so thank you for the opportunity to speak with you, and feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. And I'm going to move things right along to admissions and aid, and I'm going to welcome Tim Reardon to speak to you all.
Great, thanks, Sam. My name is Tim Reardon. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment Management and Marketing here at New England Tech. And you know, over the last 45 minutes, you have heard some phenomenal things from our faculty members, from our students, from our career services. So now you're sitting in front of your computer wondering, well, what's the next step? And there are many. Depending on where you find yourself, whether you're a high school junior starting to look at college searches, whether you are a high school senior or a college transfer student who's looking at what am I going to do in the summer, in the fall, or you're a career changer. You know, maybe you're sitting at home thinking, I don't like the job I have, or I'm looking to level up for my next position, and how can New England Tech fit in my future? And I would tell you that New England Tech can fit all learners from all types of backgrounds. So if you are sitting at home right now, watching this presentation, watching the recording of this presentation, feel free to jump online. Let us know where you stand. Fill out an application. The application is free. You can go right online to neit.edu/apply. We offer both our internal application, so our homegrown application, as well as the Common App. So if you've already applied to another school that uses the Common App, you can just add New England Tech. We'll get that information, be able to download it, and move you along in the application pipeline. I would also encourage you to fill out the FAFSA form, the FAFSA, or Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This form allows for us to determine how much your family can help you contribute to college and how much you're ready to invest in yourself, but also lets New England Tech know how much we need to invest in you. Because as with any higher education institution, not only are you going to be investing your time and your energy, but you're also going to be investing money. And just as you're ready to invest in yourself, New England Tech will be making an investment in you as well through our financial aid, scholarship grant loan process as well. And lastly, as we wrap this up tonight, and certainly feel free, I should have mentioned when I started, put your questions in the question and answer box so that we have them to respond to as I close here. But I would encourage you, just over the last few weeks, we've launched a new website, and in doing so, we've also launched a virtual tour. So you can sit at home, show everybody the virtual tour, see the spaces that you'd be learning in. But I would also encourage you to come for a real campus visit. In keeping with the state of Rhode Island regulations, we have been able to offer limited campus visits. In smaller sizes. Still, you get to see the whole campus. The visit itself isn't limited. It's the size of the group that can come. So I do encourage families, students and families to register early so you can secure the date that works best for you. But for our high school audience that's watching currently, we have expanded to offer more visits in the next few weeks as high school vacation is coming up. So I'm going to pass it back to Sam, but in closing, thanks so much for joining us. I hope that tonight has answered many of your questions and probably sparked a few others, and that's exactly what we intended to do. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Tim. And with that, we are going to move right into the Q&A. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see all of our faces as we, answer any questions that you might have. And I do see that we have one already. So do you start automatically in the associate's program and then move through the bachelor's program, or is there separate applications for that transition? Thinking this might be something that Tim Henry can answer for us.
Yes, you can start at the associates and move right through to the bachelor's. I think you can register right for the bachelor's at the start for both to go right through. So, yes.
Awesome. Alrighty. And then what resources are there if I need help? So I'm wondering do any of our students want to answer this? Do you know of any resources or if you yourself or any of your friends have ever needed help outside of the classroom?
I could probably talk about that. So, like I said, I came into New England Tech not knowing anything about software engineering other than that I thought I might like it. So I used a lot of the resources for a little while. We have tutors within the department. So we have students who are usually at the bachelor's level, I think, and they offer tutoring sessions. Right now they're virtual. I believe in the past, they were also in person. I know a lot of my friends have utilized those for JavaScript. We used a lot of that for JavaScript. Our professors all have very generous office hours. So office hours, if you guys don't know what that is, right now it's a link, but they have a set time during the day. It's either like 2 or 3 times a week. Some of our professors, actually all of our professors, make themselves available very graciously all of the time. But we have office hours, like I said, so we can meet one-on-one with our professors if we need that extra help. We also just have our fellow students. You would be really surprised at the connections that you'll make here and how easy it ends up being just to be able to reach out to your friend and talk to them as well about everything. I have made some of my closest friendships here just because we were all so lost And we all just decided to work on it together. You know, we all asked our professors our questions and they gave us incredible guidance. And then at that point, we decided to work together. Another thing that I absolutely adored, which will be the last thing I talk about, I don't know when it's going to come back because of everything that's been going on. But when I started at New England Tech, one of our professors, Marty Truchon, I saw another professor, Sal, and Katie Truchon. On Saturdays, they would be on campus from, I think it was about 9 a.m. until noon. And they had an IT lab Saturdays. And it was always at least one professor there or a bunch of them. And they were there for you to do extra work, to give you extra help if you need it, or just to be there in the room while you do your work and use the school's computers. And then you could ask them questions that way. So there is endless resources. I'm probably forgetting some.
Great, thank you so much. And then how strong do you have to be in math for this program?
I can probably answer that. I'd honestly say that math, I mean, I'm not bad at it, but there's definitely other interesting topics to me. You know, when I went in, I think I took kind of the basic algebras, which was good because I forgot them by the time I went back to school. So you don't really have to have, at least for those courses, you don't have to have a strong background in math. They're gonna really go back through all the basics that you like I said, you might have forgotten.
Right. In addition, I was going to say that the Academic Skills Center, another resource we have on campus, will help you with mathematics. They have people there and additional tutors to help with working through assignments and getting up to the level that you need to be if you're not comfortable with what's going on in the math classes. For either software engineering or cybersecurity, you do not need to have calculus. I mean, I would love for you to have calculus. My background's in mathematics, but no, you don't really need that to go through the program, but it is important to have basic algebra and trigonometry. You will get some statistics in the software engineering program. But for me, what's really important about mathematics in these programs is learning to think procedurally and through the steps, because everything you do is going to you have to take care of this, then you have another problem to solve, then you have another problem to solve. You've got to break those problems down into smaller steps and being able to work through those steps. And that's actually where mathematics will help you out.
Great. And then another one is, do you have a chance to do a co-op or an internship, or do you participate in both options as you move through the program?
I can kind of speak to that one. So there's a split. Basically, you can choose to do, if this is answering the question correctly, my choice was either to continue along with a traditional education program. So it's, I think it's a minimum of 12 fixed units per quarter. Or you can take the co-op class, which replaces one of your technical courses and then allows you to actually go either part-time or full-time with that internship, and then also continue basically having a full-time education. So it's not mandatory, but it's an option that's definitely good if you can find the internship because it gives you field experience.
Great. Thank you, Seth. So it seems like those were the questions that we had. Again, I definitely urge any attendees right now, if you think of any questions later on or really any time, you can just respond to the webinar reminder email that you should have gotten an hour before this and then 24 hours ago as well. And that will automatically direct your question to our admissions office, where an admissions counselor can either answer it or get you in contact with the correct person, whether it be a financial aid officer or whomever, to answer that question. So definitely do not be afraid to reach out. We are all here for you to answer any questions you may have. So that is really all we have for the rest of the webinar. Thank you so much for coming again. We're happy to have you, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. Have a good one.
Good evening.
Take care.
Okay, awesome. I just wanted to say on here, I know a bunch of people left, but I just wanted to say great job, guys. I think that went really, really well. Really good questions. And I was texting Stacy and Kayla, other people in the marketing department, and was so happy about how well spoken everyone was. And we did not lose any panelists, which oftentimes they start to trickle away at the end, and we didn't lose any the whole time. So that was really, really great. So great job. And I'll be sending an email out again a little bit later for a follow-up meeting. All righty.
Great. Thank you.
Have
Corey
a great
and
rest
Seth,
of your night.
great work. Juliana, I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon. It was nice meeting you over Zoom.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Take care. Thank you, Sam,
Bye,
for all your help.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you. Hey,
Thanks,
Sam, I don't
Julie.
know. You know, you were still recording for that last part. I know you said you were going to post it. Okay.
I'll edit it.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
Have a good one, you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody.